was a hypo, and I'm like, welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared, and today we are discussing let's just say a kind of forgotten Marvel Cinematic Universe gem, the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie, aka the last time the Hulk was represented properly in movies.
I gotta say, it's a hidden gem. Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is. Because here's the problem with this. Because I've long said the problem with the MCU is that so they brought in Mark Ruffalo for the Avengers, and you know what? For like 2 movies, we had an okay Hulk. Maybe even Thor Ragnarok, it was like, okay, that's still a little bit more Hulk. But the minute they did the whole Smart Hulk thing, that's when I'm like, what the heck are we doing here? And yeah, Cameron, I do agree. The Hulk should have gotten a trilogy, but again, because the rights for with the Hulk movies and sharing it with Universal, it was kind of what's the word? Finicky back in the day.
And the fact that Universal had the rights since 2003, I would say. So since then till now, they still got the rights now. It's like we haven't had a Hulk film since 2008, which is a long time, and it's over a decade now since we had a Hulk proper Hulk film. And I still to this day I still think that this Hulk film is up there, like as a solo film, like if you put like Captain America: First Avenger, the first Captain America: First Avenger, the Hulk, Incredible Hulk, and then you put the Iron Man. That's the top 3. What's it called? MCU films, I believe, are S tier. That's what I believe.
Yeah, of the original MCU movies, this is like one of my favorites. And first thing what I want to bring up is, so recently I watched it with like a couple of buddies, and one of the things that we immediately like picked up on with this movie is that it's serious, but it includes humor organically, as opposed to what would be the norm later in the MCU, where there's like a ridiculous amount of like out of like character jokes or like inappropriate jokes where they shouldn't be. Whereas with this, it's like it's mostly a dark Hulk movie, which I like, because Hulk is one of those characters where I'm like, yeah, you should probably have a little bit more edge, as opposed to like everyone's laughing, it's all hunky-dory, Taladia.
Okay.
Yeah. So this movie also kind of is a sequel to the Eric Bana Hulk movie, because it like kind of continues stuff, but it doesn't. I think what they were doing is like they took some plot points, but it's overall not in there.
But the one thing I gotta say, Stan Lee makes another cameo in this, and I gotta say, he goes, "Oh, this has got a kicker in this," and I gotta say that cameo in the Incredible Hulk film, I was just like, "Wow, I can't believe like he drank
he drank gamma soda."
Yeah, he drank gamma soda. I can't believe he did that.
Which I think they did that in the game too, because this movie was one of the games that used the tie-in games, and because what's cool about this, so I had the Iron Man game. I got Iron Man and Hulk, and what's cool about that is that if you had Iron Man installed on your hard drive, you automatically were given the Hulkbuster suit.
Oh, you gotta do a stream on that.
I don't have the game anymore, but I'll see if I can re-find it. But it's really good. But it's like Ultimate Destruction, but on steroids. So anyway, yeah, I keep getting my Hulk movies mixed up because of that. Yeah, kind of. So then let's see, what else do you have? All right. So the thing about this movie is, all right, so it retells the Hulk's origin, this is where it indicates that the Eric Bana movie is decidedly not canon because it has a different scenario for how he became the Hulk as opposed to like what we saw in the 2003 movie, which we may or watch once for movie night. That's a movie that we've never actually covered. So then we get to so this time Edward Norton is playing the Hulk. He would later leave because he wanted so much like creative control over the movie, and apparently he was a little bit of a diva on set, so they kind of wanted to like go with someone that was a little more of a yes man as opposed to like a little bit more like Resistance. So he's hanging out at this bottling plant, and he gets a cut on his finger, and blood gets in the soda. So here's the fun part. So then we get what is quite possibly what. So we get that Stan Lee cameo. Then we meet General Ross, and he assembles a crack team of Black Ops operatives, including Emil Blonsky, to bring in Banner. They go into the area. Banner hulks out and completely wrecks the place. I do like, by the way, I didn't notice this until you put on the subtitles, but Hulk actually speaks in this. He goes, "Leave me alone."
I did not know that.
Next movie, and when he first hulks out, put on subtitles that he actually speaks. It's actually really cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he speaks at the end of the movie. So then we get let's see what else. So then we get yeah, exactly. So then he escapes, and then we get the whole backstory. But then we learn that they hint at Captain America. They're saying, hey, back in World War II, we were trying to have like, I think they called it like ground force enhancements or something like. They basically use like a government term for super soldiers. And then they're like, hey, we can give it to you, Blonsky. And then we get what is kind of an unsettling scene when he gets the infusions. First, they put the needles in his neck. And then one has to go into his bone marrow. So they put it into his spine. And then you can hear the bone snap. And I'm like, my
face was just like this. Ooh, like, no. Like, but the tone for it is right. It's a serious tone for the Hulk film. And to be honest with you, we've never seen that type of thing in a film before. Like, the one thing I'll say though, we've never seen the Abomination in human form before. Never.
Yeah, I don't think we have. It's a good question. Yeah, so he's in human form. And then later he'll do that. And then the whole super soldier program kind of fits in on that. So Hulk Bruce reunites with Betty Ross, and then they go to his college campus because they need his like blood data to send to Mr. Blue. This is why when I saw when we did the Captain America review, which we may do again, I said it was really funny hearing that Mr. Blue music because this is what that's referencing. I was like, okay, so that's what he's referencing. So they get the data, and then the military shows up and starts attacking Bruce. He hulks out again, and this is the first time we get like the full on look at the CG Hulk. And I gotta say, for 2008 CGI, I don't know what it was. The CGI looks really good on the Hulk.
Fun little thing. I think this is that was the first time in the history of superhero films we had 2 Marvel films and 1 DC film, because Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, and The Dark Knight all came out in the same year.
That must have been a hell of a year. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, 2008.
So then let's see what else. So then Blonsky shows up. He's in a super soldier form, and he's like fighting the Hulk. But it was kind of funny. So the whole time we're seeing the Hulk get shot at, and rounds are like bouncing off him. Blonsky rolls up with a handgun and is like trying to shoot the Hulk, and we're like, what are you gonna do with a handgun against the Hulk? I'm like, if a grenade launcher is not gonna work, if a 50 cal is not gonna work, what? And then the best part. So he just decides to walk up to the Hulk and go, "Is that all you got?" and then the Hulk just kicks him into a tree. And then of course the government has to call in an Apache, at which point Thaddeus Ross almost kills his daughter in the crossfire, and I'm like, what? Yeah, you're a very dangerous father. I see why she wasn't talking to you in Captain America. And then he retreats. And then what's kind of funny is like when they get to their hotel, I like how she gets some like shorts, but she gets some like neon purple shorts, which is essentially the shorts that he would wear in the comics. So it's like that's the comic book like nod. They go to the school, they meet who would become the leader. They meet Samuel Stearns. And so their plan is, so Stearns has developed a serum that he thinks will cure him or suppress the Hulk for like that one incident. So he makes Bruce Hulk out. And this is the first time that we've really seen like full in view the transformation. Like you could see his like clavicle like breaking and like growing. And you can see like he starts to weigh more because the bed gets more heavy and just weighs him down.
And it's getting squashed like a bug.
Yeah. When I was watching that, I'm like, oh, this is unsettling. In a good way, I really liked it. I felt that like, okay, this is actually working out pretty well. And then you get what's the word? Okay. So the serum works. They managed to suppress the Hulk as far as they know. They don't know if it was a permanent cure or if it was suppressed. Then we learn that Stearns had replicated the Hulk. Bruce's DNA to kind of look at like to kind of run tests on it, and obviously, then he's captured by the military, and Robert's here, so let's let him in.
Let's do his intro.
I'm gonna make you an intro, dude. But what's up?
Not too much. What'd you guys already talk about with it?
So we're up to the part where Abomination's out.
Oh, yep. First of all, I just want to say I really do love this whole movie. I just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, me too.
I think it is like, Norton, besides being a bit of a pain to work with, I think he understood it. Although I do feel also a bit too much of a fan of the old show, of the TV show, since most of the changes were done to accommodate that.
But by the way, did you guys notice the security guard at the campus looked very familiar?
Yes, the 70s Incredible Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Lou Ferrigno, I know.
He was also Hulk in the Hulk animated show, so there was that.
And he basically voiced Hulk up through Avengers Age of Ultron, because that was him doing Beauty God.
Oh, that's actually really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but now it's either Mark Ruffalo or Fred Tascadera.
All right. But anyway, so by the way, Robert, did you see that Jeremy Adams is now exclusive?
I did. I saw that. That means that's a good sign. Even though he has been mostly unofficially exclusive, this means he'll actually get proper gigs.
Yeah, it ups his gigs. So I'm like, please save us.
So far, the two exclusives they got that we know of are Taylor and who got renewed recently, and Adams.
Wait, King's not exclusive?
I don't think King's ever been exclusive per se, as far as I know.
By the way, so you know what's kind of interesting, Robert? So I was rereading something. This is off topic, but screw it. This is Comics League. So I'm reading the rest of the Ta-Nehisi Coates' Captain America run, and I noticed it gets to like 30 or 35 issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, interesting. That would be around my estimation. But anyway, back to Hulk. So I do. One of the things that we're talking about, Robert, is that this is the first time that we've seen in full view the Hulk actually transform, and they went super body horror of it when like his clavicle is like breaking and you can hear bones snapping as he's like growing. This reminded me a lot of the art in Immortal Hulk a little bit.
But Immortal Hulk was even more so because it was trying to go for horror.
Well, yeah, isn't it like in Immortal Hulk where like they literally break him up into body parts?
Actually, no. To be fair, Peter David did some of that. They've had some artists doing that. It's always been an artist rendition thing. It's just that since Immortal Hulk and Phil K. Johnson's run on Hulk, that they've really amped it up to make it a regular horrific thing.
Yeah, which I really like about that, because it's like, yeah, it would be pretty terrifying if all of us, if like this creature, like this guy was transforming into a creature. This movie made me afraid of the Hulk for 3 years. Nice, Kirby. But it treats the Hulk more like a monster, which that's the thing. Now, I'm gonna say this: the Hulk in Avengers and Age of Ultron, Robert.
It's more Peter David Hulk.
No, but I'm saying to some degree, Ragnarok, those I think were pretty good. It's just when you get to Endgame and like beyond.
When he's Professor Hulk.
When I'm like, no. When the Hulk.
To be fair,
yeah.
Even with Peter David's Professor Hulk, he still had an edge to him, because in that case, actually, you know what I realized? It's not Professor Hulk. It's Banner Hulk when Mantlo had Banner be in control, whereas Professor Hulk still had elements of gray and green mixed in.
Because wasn't it like Professor Hulk? He was still Hulk, but he had Banner's intelligence.
Well, again, that's happened twice, but I'm saying there's two different ways of looking at it. The way I look at it, with what we have currently with Hulk in the movies is more Mantlo's Banner Hulk, which is how Hulk was in Secret Wars.
Okay, I see. But
where he actually had the intellect, but none of the, it was all Banner in the Hulk body, whereas Professor Hulk was a balance of what was supposed.
And you're breaking up, Robert. You're breaking up. You are breaking up.
You got robots.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Now you're back. But anyway.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I know what it is.
Okay. But while Robert fixes that, so then Blonsky shows up and basically goes, "Yo, I want you to make me a Hulk." And I love Stearns. He goes, "I don't know what's inside you. The mixture could be an abomination." I love that.
I like how you said that.
Now?
But you're back. But I love where he goes, the mixture could be an abomination. And then he hulks out. But it's like very different. And I got to say, I think people would have been less anti this abomination design if they at least gave him the head fins on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
As opposed to just having him be like some doomsday knockoff. But I like the scene where Banner jumps out of a helicopter, not sure if he could transform, and then as he's like falling, he's trying to like Hulk out, but then he can't. But he's like, "Oh no!" It smacks into the ground.
How do I sound?
A little. You sound fine.
All right, just wanted to check because I switched over to hands free.
Yeah. So you get I like where you're like,
oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. And then I like how they give you a second. They're like, "Is Banner dead?"
Oh, and by the way, they took the Hulk hands from Ultimate Destruction.
Really?
Him ripping the car in half and using them as boxing gloves.
I'm getting to that. So the Hulk shows up, and then they fight. The Hulk actually hulks out, and then they like clash. And then, this is a move that you could do in Ultimate Destruction and in the Hulk game for this movie. So you could take a car, break it in.
The game for this movie was done by the same company, Radical.
Yeah, so you can split the car in half and then use the halves as boxing mitts. So he's like smacking him with the car parts.
The only thing left is the horn and the alarm and horn.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. It's like,
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when they did the Clash thing, it was in front of a cinema. I noticed that it was like at the theater.
Yeah,
and that was, I think that was in the trailer, I believe, as well, when they first did the trailer for it.
Might have.
Yeah, but it was an epic. I don't know if it's in the montage or thing, but what they should have done is they should have used the CGI was really good for its time as well.
Yeah, ridiculously. Again, it's this and Iron Man. I look at the CGI now and I'm like, what's your excuse?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Like the CGI for its time is thing. I think the Abomination. That's what Zack Snyder took the inspiration from to make Doomsday.
To a
I don't
point.
think so. I don't think so.
I would say to a point, I said.
To a point, but again, I think people
Okay,
would have
okay,
been
can I ask
less.
you guys your question?
Yeah.
Where do you guys stand on people? Now you're starting to have people saying, oh, it shouldn't be comic accurate. Like what was going
Well,
on about people bringing up the Abomination, saying, oh, this looks better than this stupidity. It's comic accurate. Things don't have to be comic accurate. It's like,
no,
what?
but what I think, Robert, like I said before, I think they could have made a compromise by if they kept basically the Abomination design that we had in this movie, but gave him the head fins. I think it would have looked a little better and more comic accurate. I think.
Possibly.
Yeah, so that's where I think they could have gone with that. But so they fight, and I like how brutal the fight is. Like when Abomination's hanging onto the helicopter, Hulk grabs his spine, and you can see like the spine areas like twisting, and I'm like, oh god. See, this is like hardcore Hulk to the point where I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, oh good lord. So they crash. And then they have another fight. Hulk does his thunderclap for the first time to save Betty, even though he's pushing the fire toward the helicopter, which I'm like, I don't know how that works. So then Abomination takes out a whip and starts whipping Hulk. And then in the most stereotypical thing ever, the Abomination goes, any last words? And then Hulk
Yep.
finally says Hulk smash, takes the chain.
And does the thunderclap too afterwards.
No, it was before that.
Oh,
So
you're right.
Hulk grabs the chain, wraps around Abomination's neck, and is choking him out.
And he's losing it control. He's about really losing control there.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, okay. I really miss this Hulk. Like,
by the way, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was about to say that you think about this, and I'm like, when I'm watching this movie, and then I compare it to like post Ragnarok MCU Hulk, I'm like, what?
Right. But I was going to say, interesting thing I found out from the director's commentary. Did you know that the whole reason they have that bit about, like, the way the writers handled it was, and like, I believe you're confident you know it, but if you're not, it's supposed to be, they're trying to keep the Betty General disconnection. That's what you kept calling him General, and then finally yelling Dad. It was written to be like this, oh, they're related moment, even though, and for the non-comic fans.
Okay, I kind of see what they're doing there.
Yeah, but it does feel a little corny. So, hold on, sorry.
It does feel kind of sudden with that, but I see they do kind of like lean into that earlier in the movie, as a matter of fact. And I'm doing a quick overview, and then we'll go over more in depth later.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. But so obviously, Betty stops him from losing control,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously, like the Hulk escapes, and then we see like a lot of different things. Then we see Banner is like learning how to control the Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get the General in the bar, and this was like finally when we got the Iron Man crossover when Tony Stark walks through. Here's the problem. So he goes, "What if I told you we were putting a team together?" But in Iron Man 2, Tony says, "I told you I don't want to be part of your super secret boy band."
My guess is, here's what I think. I personally think that he went along with it because Fury told him to. They couldn't. Obviously, from what we were told, Ross told him flat out. Well, Tony sabotaged that meeting. That was actually in one of the oh no, if I remember right, one of those Coulson shorts had it be where him and this other guy who would later reveal to be a Hydra agent were saying how they had to do something to derail this. They had to derail the meeting. So they sent Tony there. So Tony wasn't really offering him about putting a team. He was was trying to derail the talks with Ross, which he
Okay,
apparently
that makes
succeeded
sense.
afterwards.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah,
So
because I was
that's what I
like,
recall. It was something like that. One of those shorts revealed that.
yeah, so that makes a lot more sense now because it always was like, what changed in between movies? So then the movie ends. So
Yep.
now again, for the one Hulk movie that we got in the MCU so far, because I'm fairly certain we're gonna get a new one, and now that as far as we know, Marvel has all the rights back.
Yep.
I think that very solid, very solid.
Mm-hmm.
It has some weaknesses, but
Oh
I
yeah.
think
But for the second Marvel MCU movie,
yeah, it's really effective what it does. Now so in terms of like the downgrade for the MCU, because here's the thing, they explain because here's the problem. Here's where it started. It started with Infinity War because Thanos got his ass kicked by the Hulk. This is Thanos without using any of the stones, by the way.
to be fair, I think you're underestimating how strong Thanos had been even without the stone. And there's been a misconception. Thanos could whoop the Hulk's butt even without the stones.
Yeah, but when this Hulk was like throwing around a giant wolf.
Again, though, trust me, Thanos has been able to knock Galactus off his feet without the stones.
Mm,
I can show you that image.
yeah, but comic book is different than movie,
But
though.
we never saw what movie Thanos was capable of until that.
Yeah, but it's just like, but beyond that, so Hulk escapes in Infinity War, then never shows up again, like Savage Hulk.
Yeah, because
And
Savage Hulk is afraid. That's something that's established in comics before, that Hulk, in the comics, that Hulk could refuse to change.
But it's different in the MCU though, completely different.
no, it's the same because he is afraid of Thanos. Todd. That's
He even
what
said
we're
that. Yeah, he's
saying.
like, he won't come out. And Thanos, he tried to, and Hulk's like, no!
And I'm like, okay. There was supposed to be a deleted scene in Infinity War where the Smart Hulk thing was actually so suddenly. So when Hulk is fighting the big one essentially in the Hulkbuster suit, Banner finally like gets the Hulk to come out. I think. Well, actually, no. Apparently, the way it was going to work is that there's going to be a scene, the Mindscape, where Banner and Hulk come to like an understanding. And then he was gonna punch his way out of the Hulkbuster suit, and then become like, and then be like Smart Hulk. That's where that comes from.
I can see why they didn't go with it, given all the other insanity going on. That moment would have been lost.
Yeah, I got it, but it's
Especially
like,
not after you just built up Thor's big return.
yeah, I just kind of wish that they also didn't like. I wish they showed it on screen, even in like Endgame or something like that. Just show like that transformation in like a news thing, because just saying, oh yeah, this happened off screen is kind of stupid.
Oh, I agree.
They-
I agree with
they
that.
What they should have done is also finish the visual effects for that scene, because they would have been far cooler if they had the visual effects than just having Mark Ruffalo seeing him in the.
But if they're gonna cut the thing out, what's the point of completing the visual effects,
Yeah,
Ladia?
exactly. Yeah,
make it
it's rare cases where they've done deleted scenes where they finish it. There's rare cases, and as most time they just show it with what they have.
Yeah,
you
which-
make.
yeah,
Sorry, go
because if you look at a lot of the Star Wars deleted scenes, some of them have visual effects, yes, but a lot of
Some
them
do, yes.
don't.
Yeah.
So
It
I'm
was
like,
early DVD special features is when they, for a while, gave them a budget to finish it for deleted scenes, and then they realized this is a waste of money.
yeah, if it's not going in the movie in theaters. But Daniel says Hulk from 2008 could defeat Thanos, or at least match him even.
I don't think so, because again, we're supposed to take Thanos as the ultimate big bad of this moment. If Hulk could just take him down in the first meeting.
Because hang on, Daniel, what are you basing that off of? Provide your evidence. Cameron says,
Oh, I think I know why. The way he looks. I'm gonna guess just how big and bulky he looks. But just because he looks bulky doesn't mean that means he's stronger.
Yeah. Cameron says, refresh my memory, but was Rick
No.
Jones in this movie or no? They had a Rick Jones-like character in the other movie.
Yeah. Well,
Like the one
wasn't Rick-
the one that fulfills the Rick Jones
Yeah.
role. In other words, the one that Bruce saves from getting dosed with gamma.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. But yeah,
Because
they have not had a Rick
that's
Jones.
that's the thing with like yeah, but Daniel, how do you know that Abomination is stronger than Thanos?
Yeah, exactly. We don't.
Because as far as we know, Abomination and Hulk were evenly matched.
But that doesn't mean that does not equal stronger than Thanos.
Even when Abomination put like his bone in the Hulk's thing, by the
That
way,
was cool.
Yep.
that I was 16 at the time. I was disgusted by that at that age.
You
Because-
don't deserve this power. Now watch her die. That's like
Yeah.
this movie's so hardcore.
Oh,
It was like too
you know
hardcore.
what the other deleted scene,
Yeah.
right?
Which
Go on.
is
Originally, it was supposed to open up with Bruce
Oh, yeah.
going to commit suicide, and what stops him? He sees Cap on ice. No actor, because they didn't cast at that point, but it would have been like the Shield or something.
I mean, what's kind of funny in the game. They do the actual. He shoots himself in the mouth, but the Hulk spits it out. They actually do that.
Yep, they actually did that. Yeah.
And I was like,
that game was the weakest of the radical design games, to be honest. Graphic wise, they rushed that.
graphic wise, yeah, it's weak, but still fun as hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. By Max says he's saying Edward Norton Hulk is more savage and ruthless.
He wasn't talking
Yeah,
about
but
Norton. He was talking about Banner, I think.
no. But here's the difference. Hulk in that move, Hulk in Infinity War was still Savage Hulk.
Yeah.
It wasn't Smart Hulk at that point yet. Because if you're
No.
saying Smart Hulk versus Thanos, then yeah, I could say Smart Hulk would beat him.
No, yeah, there's a reason why. Yeah, so to say that this Norton Hulk would have won, no, because what's the proof? There is no proof.
By the way, did you see that? So there was a deleted scene. There was a scene that they wanted to do, but apparently they didn't shoot. But they wanted to have a scene in Endgame where at the final battle, he actually Savage Hulks out and like puny gods Thanos.
Yep.
And I'm like, I get why you didn't do that because it's like there's so much stuff happening. But it would have been kind of cool to at least see that once as like payback.
Okay, and I see Daniel saying, Daniel, here's the thing though. One, Hulk is savage, mindless, doesn't think it through, and he doesn't know how much strength to put in there. And again, yeah, 2 hits, and yeah, he'd be going down because he doesn't have a chance to get angrier.
But
Yeah,
you know,
it's like
he just changed, boom, boom. How is he supposed to get angrier?
I mean, that's what. Well, he didn't just change in that movie. Remember, he was Hulk from Ragnarok, and then and then assuming he didn't change back. But on that, it's like the thing about this is like that's why I've always said if like Superman ever fought the Hulk, he would have to beat him fast because eventually Hulk is going to be stronger than Superman.
But here's the other thing you got to remember, and this is one thing I do give props for Death Battle summarizing it well, because there is proof that Hulk can still be exhausted. He can still, even if he gets stronger, he can still be brought down. His fight with Sentry during World War Hulk proves it. There's been so many times where he's been knocked around by other foes, even on the same level as him, and he gets exhausted and because his anger, his strength, even the healing factor, does not keep his stamina going.
Which is sad, but I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of can.
It's been proven in the comics.
Yeah, there's the evidence right there, and that's all we got. There is the evidence.
His fight with Sentry is the best example.
I just wish it weren't that fast of a fight because Hulk shows up and then just gets bodied. Robert, can you at least agree with me? It should have been a longer. It wouldn't have been. I don't think that
longer.
A little bit. I'm not saying Hulk should have won. It's just it seemed like Hulk was much more puny than he actually is.
True, but again, this was our first time seeing what Thanos could do. You don't want to mess up that first fight. His first actual fight with someone.
Yeah, and I think it was just because it's Infinity
Warp
War is
exists
technically.
for a reason.
I think it was also Infinity War is technically a Thanos movie, and the best way to show that like Thanos is like super like you don't want to mess with him is to have him like body the Hulk.
Again, that's the Worf effect. That's what, right? That's what, when people, Worf is supposed to be a Klingon, but he's always the first one taken down.
Yeah, so I understand that to its perspective. Now again, you don't have to like it, but you can understand it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I definitely don't like it. But
By the way,
yeah.
I would say that bit where Bruce and Betty in the cave, that's right out of Hulk Gray.
Oh really?
Him roaring at the lightning, roar! That's right out of Hulk Gray.
Oh,
the commentary
cool.
tracks for the movies explained where some of their the influences came from.
By the way, Robert, I told Taladia this. Did you know that there's another part in the movie where Hulk speaks?
I believe so.
In the very beginning, when he first hulks out, if you have the subtitles on, he goes, "Leave me alone."
Leave me alone.
No, he says it actually quietly.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so see, here's the thing. I will say this. You know what's kind of funny? This is one of the good things She-Hulk did. People were looking back at this movie after seeing like Hulk in a hoodie, and they're like, maybe I treated you too harshly.
No, but I would say though, was it She-Hulk or was it Endgame that teased the idea that Bruce could actually lose control even in this smart Bruce form?
Wait,
did they?
And there was a point where it seemed like he was losing control or something, like a brief moment. It's like blinking, you'll miss it. But there's a moment where he's like he almost.
Well, actually, there was also supposed to be a scene. Remember in Endgame when the like Sorcerer Supreme knocks Bruce's astral form out of his Hulk body? Yeah. Apparently, there was supposed to be a scene where like the Hulk part comes out and then just goes on a rampage.
Again, no, that would have totally disrupted the timeline and everything.
Yeah, so I can see why they wouldn't do it. What do you want to say, Taladia?
I was gonna say, wait, was there any good parts in She-Hulk?
Okay, I personally had an enjoyment of She-Hulk. There was cringe, tons of cringe, but like some moments that people use to complain about, like again, because Jared, you and I talked about this earlier today. She-Hulk's trying to compare her, dealing with men catcalling her and everything. That was written ironically, not like we're supposed to know she's full of it because Bruce proves throughout that whole episode she's full of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. Here's the thing: there are a few things that from the comics that should not be brought in. That's one of them.
Well, that was one of them, but at least they handled it a bit better because the way it plays out. Again, she don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah,
she proves later on, or almost like a few moments later, she'll just snap up and be like, "Oh, I have it under control." No, you don't.
Yeah, you make a good point on that. You do make a good point, but it's so.
Again, there's a lot of other cringe, like there's a lot of other cringe, like wasting the intelligentsia's name for this hate group.
For basically like Comicsgate / incels, yeah.
Yeah, when it's supposed to be all of the smart villains uniting.
That's why it's called the intelligentsia.
Yeah.
Intelligent is in the name.
Yep, they even had Doom on there, which was a bad thing because he betrayed them. You had Egghead, you had the leader, you had the Red Ghost, you had the Mad Thinker, you had MODOK.
Yeah, but what do you want to say, Taladia?
I was gonna say I was gonna say that I'm surprised that there was good things in She-Hulk. That I'm surprised to hear that from you,
here's the thing.
To hear that from you guys.
Here's the thing. I remember watching it, and yes, there are some good parts. Some.
Yeah.
But
the twerking not being one of them.
What? Oh, twerking? No, absolutely. That was one of the parts where I'm like, okay, that's just stupid. But overall, let me put it this way. Is it one of those Marvel projects that I'm going to rewatch like a lot? No, absolutely not. But is it something that's like, let me put it this way. It's no Acolyte.
Yeah, definitely not. It is not Acolyte bad. I would just say, since I've read Dan Slott and John Burns' run, there's a lot of elements from it.
Yeah, they definitely took inspiration from it. My problem with She-Hulk, which makes it kind of fatal to me, is when they do the typical Marvel ending and then she just reverses all of it.
Yeah. What
I'm
you
like,
said,
I know you're trying to homage the fourth wall breaking parts of it, and that's fine. But what's the point of watching the show if literally nothing comes of it?
they should have at least made it clear this is a one-time deal, John. You want to use it? Like, yeah. Okay. You know what they should have done? They should have been saying what I just said, but then go like, okay, like they know you could have used it someplace better than here.
Or they could have had it where like not everything is reversed. It's like they say you could change 3 things.
Yeah, either
Because
limit it or set it up like you just wasted something that could have helped you out better in the future that we know about, but you don't.
Or they could have gone, you're gonna regret doing that, but no, it just, I'm like, okay,
So
but
basically, she could have had a genie in a bottle and give
kind
the
of, except you
things.
don't cheese it and say that like 20 more wishes is a legitimate wish. Yeah, but so now, do you guys think they'll bring She-Hulk in like Avengers or something like that, or do you think
Yes.
she's done?
I
No,
think
no,
they
she-
are going to bring her into Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
If for no other reason to have her was, here's what I think. I think we're going to have Bruce, Scar, She-Hulk, and Ross working together.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
It'll be Agents of Smash.
Oh, that
God.
actually would work. That actually would work. By the way, that's actually a very underrated show.
They have all 4 members. They just don't have A-Bomb.
Which they don't really need A-Bomb because A-Bomb
No.
was just there to like say, hey, like, comment, subscribe.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is if Liv Tyler's up for it, which I doubt she would.
Red She-Hulk?
Yeah, but I doubt she would do it. That doesn't seem up her alley.
You know what they would
Really,
probably
look at all the
do?
stuff she's done. She's not an action star. She's not.
You know what they would probably do? They would probably just do it for like Doomsday or something like that. Like she's a multiversal variant. We see once she does something and then she just leaves.
Yeah, but
So, like
she would just be she would probably do the voice. She's already She-Hulked out. We don't need to see her change.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so go ahead, Taladia.
So basically, it'll be like the Cavalrine. Where we see it once and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just to acknowledge, hey, this character exists and we're homaging that era of Hulk. But yeah, we're just moving
I'll
on.
say this. As much as I love Liv Tyler, I can't see her be Red She-Hulk, but Jennifer Connelly, I could have.
Oh yes, that would have been
Jennifer Connelly could have been. I would have seen her be a Red She-Hulk, but of course, Red She-Hulk didn't exist when Incredible Hulk came out.
But Daniel says the She-Hulk show is terrible. I prefer her '90s animated show. That's a good one. I also like.
Sorry.
I also liked her appearance in that Fantastic Four animated show that was like a little more modern.
Wrote that.
Who?
Dan Slott co-wrote that.
Oh well, yeah, because She-Hulk. I figured.
Yep, and it feels that way. But you know that one, it was. I mean, I just forgot the actress's name now. But for the first time she changed in the Fantastic Four '90s cartoon, it was very orgasmic. Like you could so tell she was being turned on and everything when she first changed.
That's like whenever Jean used her powers in X-Men, she always made the and I'm like, guys.
Laurie Allen, who voiced Sue Storm in the '90s Fantastic Four, she actually said during a panel that's on the comic book, the movie DVD, that one time they would listen to just their audios, no effects, no sounds, and then like everything. Of course, it's just a raw audio. So we were like, I'm trying to get you." Anyway, it sounded like we were constipated the whole season.
Oh God, that's so.
That's how she put it. Like, and we sounded constipated. It was like, and I'm like, I can believe that.
Out of context. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, when you don't have any of the other effects, you just hear the recordings, nothing more. Yeah, you're going to sound constipated without context.
Yeah, exactly.
All I can say is because
It's Eladia. It's Eladia's like going, what the hell type of show did we talk? So we talked about this week's show we talked about the Hulk, orgasming voice actors, and constipation.
Okay.
Well,
I want to say
yeah, go ahead.
Red Hulk in the Captain America movie looks very much like this Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if they took me. Well, yeah, and see, here's the thing. I guess the the one thing I did like about the redesign for Hulk in like Avengers is that he looked like a jacked up Mark Ruffalo. Because this one looks nothing like Edward Norton.
Because Edward Norton came in last second.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay. Now, here's the thing. As a closing question, do you guys think Edward Norton would have been a good MCU Hulk, or you think he's good as just like one movie?
I would say this. On screen, yes. Behind the scenes, no.
Well, I mean on screen. Obviously, behind the scenes, like, ugh.
On screen, yes. But I also think Ruffalo brought a different edge as well. And just like Eric Bana brought a different edge. They almost each represent different eras of the Hulk, to be fair.
It's like Batman, Bruce Wayne type of thing.
Yeah, Eric Bana in the 03 Ang Lee movie represented a Banner who's, repressed and motionless. There are versions like that. Norton felt a little bit like the man.
And you're breaking up, Robert. You're breaking up.
He's roboting.
Yeah, you are roboting. Hello? You are roboting.
Hello.
Now you're back.
All right. I said Norton was a bit more mad scientist, like a Hulk, type Hulk, a little bit, but still trying to do good. And Ruffalo, I feel Peter David's Hulk and Banner. Good man, trying to do good. Will sometimes shoot himself in the foot, but is a good guy.
Yeah, the thing about Ruffalo, what he brought to it is that he made it like if you didn't know who this was, you wouldn't believe he's the Hulk. In other words, he's like too sweet, if you will, as his role. So it's like you'd never believe that this peaceful man turns into a green rage monster.
He's also at peace.
Like he's like, that's my secret captain. I'm always angry.
Yep, exactly. Oh yeah, this is much better. That was such a Banner line when he's on. Like,
where he's like, at first, where he's like me and then close tube, but he goes, "Oh, this is much worse."
Oh yeah, this is much worse.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, at least underwater, you'll just sink to place. This, you'll bring it down on people.
Yeah, exactly. But so I think that's a good place to leave it. I think this. Answer? Oh yeah. Go ahead. Do you think Norton would have been a good MCU Bruce Banner, or do you think we were fine with Ruffalo?
I think, personally, Edward Norton would have been a really good Bruce Banner in the MCU if he carried on, if there was no disagreements or whatnot, right? I think it would have been really ideal to, the evolution from Incredible Hulk throughout, it would have been the CGI would have been even more better, and I think we would have had a really good Mark Ruffalo? I meant to say Edward Norton. So we would have had a good Edward Norton in the MCU going forward, and I would have loved to have seen Edward Norton as not the smart Hulk, but more of a interesting character as Bruce Banner, like between the Age of Ultron. I would love to have seen him. What would he have done in that period of time as well?
Yeah, and it would have been kind of funny to see the sarcastic Bruce Banner of Norton interacting with Tony Stark.
Oh yeah,
that would have. I think they would have played off each other really well.
Jared?
What?
What's your answer?
Yes and no, because here's the thing. It's like, I think it would have been good for, let me see.
Consistency for one.
But as for this, I would say, yeah, I think he would have been good. Let me put it this way. I think he would have been fine. I'm happy with Ruffalo, but I think it would have been interesting to see like Edward Norton's Hulk interact with Bruce Banner interact with I almost said Bruce Wayne. That would have been cool too. Tony Stark.
I think it wasn't much of a downgrade. I think that's the thing. Norton to Ruffalo in the long run is not much of a downgrade.
Yeah, it's not like they replaced it with someone that I'm like, oh God, this sucks.
Like if they brought Eric Bana back, but still kept him written the same way as the Ang Lee version.
Yeah, then it would have been, this is
Bana
a total downgrade.
Overall, Bana was a good choice. I mean, have you seen him in Star Trek 09?
Yeah, he would have been a great, if he was given better material, it would have been much better.
Yeah, because I look back at him as Nero in Star Trek, and it's like, oh my God, why didn't we get this in Hulk?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a good place to leave it. By the way, so next week, here's what we're going to do. Next week, let's talk about the 2003 Ang Lee Hulk. I haven't talked about that movie in years. Let's do it. So,
cool.
So Taladia, where can we find you and what have you got coming out on your channel?
Okay, you guys can check me out on YouTube at Taladia Plays. What I got coming up is that clip out that I did for my show where we talk about the Batman Beyond game and whether it's going to be in the Arkhamverse with I had Jared and other people on. And I'll also be doing my Marvel Rivals stream tomorrow as I'll be playing as the Thing with the first time on the PlayStation 5.
Can't wait.
So I can't wait to do that, and it'll be my first TikTok stream as well. So gotta mention that.
How about you, Robert?
You got my show, Robert Willing. I really got to change my official name. I got to. And or youtube.com/WILLIN. I've got some videos in the can. And I'm wrapping up going over, by tomorrow, I'll be wrapping up going over the White Knight books as they stand currently.
Heck yeah.
And
So for me, Britt and I are going to be talking about, for this week's Super Wonder Legacy, we're going to be talking about Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, ZSJL, and the Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, how they portrayed like those Wonder Woman and Superman, how we would do it. And movie night is Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And for Wonder Woman Wednesday, I think I am going to discuss, I'm trying to get my things, the best Wonder Woman writers. In other words, my favorite Wonder Woman writers who have handled her in the past. Now, when I say that, I'm going to say this in the video, but I'll say it now. When I mean Wonder Woman writers, it also includes people that have not necessarily written her solo book, but have written her well in other books. So
basically any writer.
Any writer that wrote Wonder Woman that I enjoyed.
So Keith Giffen is not going to be on there because he always wrote Diana as a...
I never read her him writing her.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing. I hate Justice League International, so I'm like definitely not gonna. I just hate it. I can't take it.
We can talk about that another time.
Yeah. So stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She blows your General Zod, and Steve Trevor, Steve Never. He belongs 6 feet in the ground, and he is there. It's the one time I'm going to say thank you, Tom King. Keep him there. Zois and Max about for life. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.